I don't know what her ribs are, but he's got a giant gash across his face. And we're going to get him wrapped up, but we got to get that fire and get started.
An off-duty Flagler County Sheriff's Office detective was first to arrive at a fiery crash scene on I-95 North. Detective Adam Gossett was returning from dinner with family Monday night when he saw the flames and jumped into action. He first moved two children who were hurt in the crash away from the flames. He took the shirt off his own back to wrap one of the patients to stop bleeding before paramedics arrived and took over the scene. Firefighters were also called to the scene and knocked down the fire. A total of 6 people were involved in the accident, 4 of which suffered minor injuries. The case is being investigated by the Florida Highway Patrol. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
We're hearing from the judiciary tonight. I haven't heard the judiciary speak at any kind of forum in more than a dozen years.
That's Gail Wadsworth, president of the Flagler County Republican Club, speaking before last night's Judicial Forum at the Hilton Garden Inn in Palm Coast. She says they held the forum because most people don't know anything about their local judges.
I want them to really pay attention to who their judiciary is, because if they pay attention to this, they're less likely to question judgments in the future. If you listen to them, you'll know why they did that.
Flagler County Judge Andrea Totten was one of 3 judges speaking last night. She was appointed in 2019. She's the first second county court judge in Flagler. Previously, there was only 1 county court judge. A second was created to deal with the growing population.
One of the complaints that I hear a lot, and one of the questions I get a lot, is we don't know anything about judges, and I'm frequently asked, how are we voters supposed to find out about judges? Because of the rules of judicial ethics, we're restricted in many ways about where we can be and when we can be, and it's a difficult balance that you want to be part of the community but not too much part of the community, because you don't want to get too friendly and have to recuse yourself from cases, and so it's difficult. And I'm sympathetic to the plight of the voters trying to figure out how you get to know your judges. The first way I will say, though, that I always answer that question, please remember, almost everything that we do in court is open to the public. There's some exceptions to that, but the first thing I always say is come to court. And in fact, with many hearings happening via Zoom these days, although lately less than in the past, there still certainly is Zoom hearings happening. Don't forget, that's an option. You can log right onto Zoom and judge me judging others from the comfort of your home. So, just keep that in mind. That's one of the ways I would invite you to get to know your judges.
Also speaking at the forum, Judge Kenneth Janesk, a 7th Judicial Circuit judge who sits in St. Johns and Putnam counties, and Circuit Judge Stacia Warren, who sits in Volusia County. All 3 are currently running unopposed in the November election. There will be a 2nd Judicial Forum held on May 4th. A Palm Coast City firefighter intern is recognized for his actions at a serious crash scene.
Jericho Taylor discovered the accident at Belle Terre Parkway and Pine Grove Drive last month, where one of the drivers was unresponsive. Fire Chief Jerry Forte says Jericho immediately began CPR.
His action led to the return of spontaneous circulation in the body. So basically his CPR brought back this person to a certain level of sustainability.
Jericho came upon the scene on his way home from EMT training.
What goes through their mind as they're approaching a scene is what? Nervousness, anxiety, stress, to stop what he was doing, get out of the car and actually put into practice what he was taught. And we want to recognize Jericho, and this is what we're going to see from him.
Forte says they're celebrating Jericho's selflessness and dependability.
And we want to just say that character is a large part of our organization, and tonight we celebrate Jericho and what he's brought to the EMT program, but what he brings to the intern program here. And people like him is what makes this department great and makes this organization great, and what is this whole community is all about.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
The Flagler County Fair and Youth Show is underway this week.
But things look a little different this year. Penny Buckles is president of the organization and manages the event.
We are not having our carnival this year. Unfortunately, they canceled on us, so we're just focusing on making the livestock show and sale for these 4-H and FFA kids a success. On Thursday night, we have our swine show that starts at 7 o'clock, and that's for the 4-H and FFA youth exhibitors. And on Friday night, we have our livestock auction of the steers, heifers, goats, and pigs.
Buckles adds there's deals to be had on meat.
It is farm to freezer. The pigs usually average anywhere from $3 to $5 a pound, and the steers the same thing. Hopefully they'll go for more. So you can fill your freezer up pretty inexpensively, and definitely a whole lot less than at the grocery store, and it's better meat.
Admission is free. Just head on over to the Flagler County Fairgrounds on Sawgrass Road in Bunnell. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Bunnell City Manager joins the board of a local healthcare company. SMA Healthcare is pleased to announce the addition of Alvin Jackson to its board of directors.
Jackson currently serves as the city manager for the city of Bunnell, a role he's held since October of 2018. Jackson says his experience with mental and behavioral health will be a true asset in his new role.
It gives me a chance to be a part of that process and the long-term and strategic planning, and at the end of the day, really helping individuals that need that additional assistance that this healthcare agency provides.
Jackson's term will span 2 years and will begin immediately. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
What do you know about the Dollhouse?
Ed Sharkovich, the president of the Flagler Historical Society, said that Dolores Dean's grandfather gave it to her in 1955 for Christmas. She would later give it away when his property would be sold.
When we got word that that property had come up for sale and that restoration costs for the building that was built in 1919 were going to be too exorbitant for us to try and manage, in order to save some aspect of what everybody had iconically driven by for decades, Dolores Dean decided to donate her dollhouse to the Historical Society.
Sharkovich said the Dollhouse is now next to the Holden House Museum and will be for the next century or so. Listen to the Flagler Voice on WNZF on Saturday mornings at 8:30 or anytime on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, Flagler County is not in St. Augustine's shadow. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.